everybody, welcome back to the Matchup Show. It is time now for our keys to the game presented by your neighborhood Ford store. All right, guys, getting closer to kickoff. Merril, you are up first. What is your one key to the Steelers getting a win on Sunday against the Texans?
Well, Missy, this is going to be, it might be a cliche, if you will, but in the last 2 weeks in watching the entire league, it has been very evident about teams that have won and played well versus teams that have not played well and played bad. It has all been about how well they play in the trenches, the offensive line and the defensive line. And when I look at that and I look at this matchup with the Steelers offense and defensive line has been better in the 2 weeks that we've gone through thus far, better than the Texans. If they continue to be better there and build there, because they played very average against Denver, so they must play better there. If those two areas play terrific for the Steelers, they're too good of a football team to lose this one. And that means it's a clean game. Nobody gets hurt. There's no turnovers, which you can't predict. But it comes down to the trenches for them. If the Steelers do that well and play and cap and build on what they have done, they're the better team. They should win the game.
Okay, Arthur, what's your key?
Now, I love what Merril said, man, in terms of it starting up in the trenches. We know what Deshaun Watson is in terms of trying to contain him and finish the rush on him. And then on the other side, you got J.J. Watt. So without a doubt, the O-line, D-line is going to be pivotal. But for me, man, I'm going to talk about the defensive secondary for the Steelers. We've seen in these first two games that they've had lapses from a communication standpoint that have resulted in some of the explosive plays that we've seen from a passing standpoint. When you're looking at this Texans offense, their receivers in terms of Brandon Cooks, Will Fuller, Randall Kenny Stills, they're good, but they haven't produced on a crazy level this year just yet. I understand, Fuller had 100 yards receiving that first game, but it still didn't seem as impactful as you would have wanted. With the Steelers secondary, if they can just communicate and stay on the same page, that will take away so much more of the diciness of what we've been seeing these first two games due to the miscommunication. So for me, man, secondary communicating, staying sharp, that'll be the thing that, to me, will be the biggest reason why the Steelers are victorious on Sunday.
Okay, Pomp, we saved the best for last. What's your key for Sunday?
Well, those are both great points. And those guys know they've been in the trenches. I have not, so they have an advantage over me there. But I will say this, it still comes down to things that you would expect in games like this. Ball possession, field position. And I think both of those are going to be big in this game. So I would expect the Steelers to try really to run the ball and establish that, not throw the ball 16 times in a row as they did in the last game. Try to mix it better. And that's why I think Ebron's going to be a big factor in this game. They will run the ball, and I think they'll have success there, which will open up that part of the game. So it's going to be, for me, it's going to be possession of the football and field position. And, honestly, it's time for a good punting game, I think. Last week was not so much. And I think that's going to also improve this week. So I'm giving those 2 check marks to the Steelers, Missy.
All right, and cleaning up some penalties, that was another big thing that Coach Tomlin harped on as well. So, guys, thank you so much for your time this week, getting us ready for Steelers versus Texans. That's going to do it for this edition of the Matchup Show presented by Power Home Solar. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys again next week.